Ian, first of all, congratulations on your engagement.
Thank you.
That was beautiful, and how special to be able to include it in the Voice this season. I think is great. I think maybe that's. I don't remember ever an engagement being shown on The Voice before. Maybe I'm very wrong, but so congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
I was wondering, since it's Fan Week, if there's anything you want to say to your fans, or what your fans have meant to you through this whole process.
Yeah, I mean, I've been a songwriter for 10 years. I'm living in a motorhome, traveling this country. There's a lot of hard times. There's a lot of times when there's no money. It's, you know, the next record can't be made without them. My life doesn't go on without them. You know, they literally are the driving lifeblood of me. You know, so to my fans, like, thank you. That's it. You guys keep me alive.
And Jim?
It's something you hope for, right? Like, this is why we play music, and it's to move people, but the reality of that happening is so overwhelming, and it's nothing short of lovely, right? Like, it's to have that outpouring, that support. It's one of the most moving, unexpected things that I've experienced from this. Yeah, and I hope I never take that for granted, because it's pretty beautiful.
That was beautiful. Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Heather. Guys, you guys are about to go into the finals, hopefully, if all goes well. What have you learned throughout this entire journey? And if you could give yourself one piece of advice going way back to the beginning of auditions, what would you give yourselves?
You take that, Jim.
Oh, it's for both of you.
You know, sorry, you're going to have to give me a minute. Think that's a good question.
I'll take, if you want a minute or whatever.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, it's hard to pinpoint just one thing. They all are intricately woven into each other. That is like what we've learned from being on The Voice. It's hard because every single thing we're learning is kind of tied into the general performance and living this way. But the main thing I would tell myself in the beginning, if I could go back, is just relax, because the tension I put on myself, I think, wasn't necessary. And, you know, sometimes it can take away from enjoying the moment and being present. So it's just about being present. That's what I've learned. No matter how big the stage is, no matter how big the audience is, it's just like, just be present in this moment, because you never know what the next show is going to be if there's another show, you know? It's just be grateful, be present.
Yeah, what he said. You know, it is similar along that same line. Is as big as this is, and it's not to try to minimize it in any way, as big as this is, though, it's still music, right? Like, and that's something that you don't know until you know, until you're there, but you're still, it's the same thing. At least I hope it is, because it's still music. It's still a band playing. It's still, you know, an audience that you're singing in front of. And if you appreciate the little audiences, then this moment is yeah, it's so spectacular, because you know that, like, you've prepared for this, and you've grinded it out, and you've played all the awful gigs, right? Like, awful. Ian's got a whole list of stuff that he could tell you. It's spectacular how awful some of these gigs are. But in the end, you know, we're judged by our music and our heart and how the passion that we have for the music. And so if I could go back, I would just tell myself, make sure you remember it's still just music. In the end, that's all it is.
Yes.
All right, and then Bobby.
So this question is for both of you. What artists would you like to cover if you guys make it to the finals next week?
Oof.
Start with you, Ian.
Would I like to cover? Oh my gosh, I don't know. There is a lot right now that I've been diving into. I have no idea what's going to happen. Man, that's actually probably the hardest question I've been asked. And I don't know. I just changed it up a lot from what I would have done. So I think I would go back into try to more of a soul folk vein, maybe some Jason Isbell, Ray LaMontagne.
Okay.
Something like that. Sorry, I drew that out for 2 minutes.
No, that's fine. Jim, what do you think? What would be like? This is going to be a perfect song to do in the finals if I make it. What artist?
Yeah. Perfect artist would be Ian Flanigan.
Oh,
that's who I wanted to cover.
Oh, yeah, you're melting my heart.
He's become my favorite artist. I think staying in that songwriter, but those sweeping melodies. I love sweeping melodies, right? Like, I think that's why I connected so much with Humble and Kind, and then that's why I connected so much with this song tonight. I love a story. I love something that invokes that emotion, but also love those sweeping choruses. And so I don't know honestly just yet who that would be, but I think I found a vein that I really want to stay in, and so I think it's less about an artist and more about the song right now for me, and trying to find that song that captures that same kind of emotion that I got to convey tonight.
Well, both of you, congratulations, and we hope to see you next week.
Thank you, man.
Hi, this question is for both of you. How have your lives changed thus far from being on this show?
Yeah.
Well, to start, I honestly don't know yet. That's the part that kind of, scares me, because we live in this bubble here, and there's this whole world of fans and stuff going on that we get glimpses of because of social media. But I'm really excited to kind of explore that and see what that looks like after this show, because I think the simple answer is just we've been given an audience, like a massive, crazy, beautiful audience that there's nowhere to really play a whole lot right now because of everything being shut down. And here we are being able to sing on this big, giant, wonderful stage with this amazing band. And so the exposure, obviously, but just the experience of working with these coaches, working with this band, working with the vocal coaches, the whole production team, this whole experience has just enlightened me in ways that you can't take a master class. You can't take anything. The only way to do it is to be a part of something like this. And I've got to experience that. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's exactly what Jim was saying. You can't read about this stuff and know how to do it. You have to do it. And the experience alone is what's going to change our careers as musicians. And there's never a moment where any single person that's in this cast isn't painfully aware of how hard it is out there in the world right now. And we are in a bubble, and we have one of the only stages in America. And, I have plenty of friends that have lost entire tours and even careers at this point. They're picking up other jobs, and that would have been me. So my career is surviving because of this and during one of the hardest times. So for that, we are in a bubble, but all I know is that I would be in a much worse place if this opportunity hadn't come along. So just grateful.